So good morning once again. Welcome to this webinar, which we call Fast Track to EU Funding 2021-2027. So that's about the upcoming EU programs, but not only. I think we will discuss those principles of EU funding and EU projects and EU programs, which can be applied also to the current period, which is not yet over. There are various calls for proposals published with deadlines in the upcoming months until pretty much the end of this year. So the objective of this 1 hour, 1.5 hour webinar is to give you some tips and to make it a bit clearer to you what these programs look like and how the application procedures work in general. So it's a rather general presentation, but several of the issues can be applied to different programs under the EU, different EU funding schemes. Who am I, who we are? Let me tell you a little bit about us first. We are EMG Group, which is a group of companies. As you can see, they're listed here. And as I said, we've been developing and managing research innovation projects under EU programs since year 2000. You can see some of our projects listed there in the with their logos. We are around 30 people, our team with the different experts and trainers. We've been involved, of course, in many proposals. Although we have a good success rate, this is part of the game. We've lost many proposals as well, which were good, which were well scored, but this is due to the competition. It's like this. We ended up winning more than 60 projects in the past 20 years. And when it comes to training courses, this has been an ongoing activity. In a typical year, we deliver 10 to 15 open training courses to which everybody can attend if they sign up. And these take place in different hubs, as I said, and the rest, we have another, let's say, 30 to 50 in-house training courses when we travel to different places. So this is me. My name is Ömer. I'm originally from Turkey. I've been living abroad, let's say, since 2003, and I've been around Europe, in Hungary, in Brussels, in Denmark, in different places. I've been in Hungary for the last, let's say, 10, 12 years. I'm overseeing all of our projects at our companies right now. I'm directly involved in the development and management of our projects. So, understanding EU funding. We will start really with the basics. Let me admit first that this is a let's say a context with a lot of terms, EU terms. So the terminology is a major aspect, a major component of EU funding and EU programs. Otherwise, the EU budget is planned over 7 years, typically. So we had, let's say, 2000-2006 period, 2007-13 period. Currently, we are in the 2014-2020 or 2020 period, which lasts until 31st December 2020. So we are at the very end. The next multi-annual financial framework, and this is how it is called, but you don't have to, again, go into these technical terms. This is the EU budget for the next 7 years. It's similar to the previous one in the sense that the priorities are similar. The names are a bit updated. You can see the titles of the headings. The programs. The EU programs are instruments that help implement these basically budgetary headings and the priorities. When we're talking about EU programs from which you can get funding, and these are just some selected programs that are listed here in front of you, we typically distinguish between decentralized and centralized programs. This is a major distinction. Now, decentralized programs are decentralized because they are managed at the member states level, or at the level of the countries for which these funds are targeted. Here you see European structural and investment funds, which include the European Regional Development Fund, the Social Fund. Now it will be called the European Social Fund Plus, the Cohesion Fund, European Agriculture Fund for Rural Development, and the European Maritime and Fisheries Fund. These are the structural funds, the typical funds allocated to the member states, and much of the infrastructure building or other technical assistance is provided through these funds. They are managed locally by the relevant institutions. I will come back to this in the next slide. But there are also other instruments here, such as the Instrument for Pre-Accession Assistance, the third phase now, the IPA or IPA3, which is provided to accession countries, so the candidate countries such as Turkey, Macedonia, and the overall Western Balkans. And then we also have Neighborhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument, which is a new instrument, this NDICI, where they basically harmonized all the development cooperation and European Neighborhood Instrument under one umbrella, and that's for the neighboring countries as well as developing countries. And then we have Interreg, which is to support cross-border cooperation as well as regional actions, again managed locally. Now, our focus in this presentation will be on the centralized programs, which are centrally managed by the European Union and its institutions, typically in Brussels. When it comes to centralized programs, there are several of them, and depending on thematic areas, you will find typically one or more programs. Some of them are listed here. I think these are some of the key programs. The one on the right, the last one, in that sense, to start with, is the biggest program for research and innovation, Horizon Europe, which is the successor of the current Horizon 2020 program. If you are a bit into EU funds, you must have heard of this program. It's the EU's research and innovation framework program, providing funds to all sorts of institutions, university, research institutes, but also industry, SMEs, public bodies, cities, umbrella organizations, civil society organizations. Anyone can participate from all EU member states plus associated countries, but even across the world. Now, this is one major program, but there are also other programs. For climate and environment, we've had the LIFE program since 1992. There's a new program, European Space Program, specifically for actions on space. For enterprises, for SMEs and industry, we have the Single Market and Invest EU programs. These are new. Education, Erasmus will continue. For culture and media, Creative Europe 2021-2027 is the continuation of the current Creative Europe program. There will be the Digital Europe program. The Justice program will continue, but there is a new program for citizens and democracy, which is the Rights and Values. And Rights and Values and Justice program are like one umbrella. So there can be many different programs depending on the sector and the thematic areas. You can find these on the EU's pages, on the Commission pages. Each program has a dedicated website, though the majority are covered through the funding and tenders portal, so they're under one portal. But I will come back to this. First, I want to tell you the main distinction between these two types of programs: decentralized, the structural funds typically, and the centralized programs.